Hey folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to Let's Play some Solasta, Crown of the Magister. Solasta is a role-playing game with turn-based combat. It is based on SRD 5.1, that is to say, the open set of rules for 5th edition D&D. It doesn't have the D&D license, but it plays with the same rules. And in many ways, it's going to have a lot of overlap with Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm probably going to do the YouTube thing where I've got some sort of like clickbaity thumbnail or something about like, is Solasta better than BG3? No, it's Baldur's Gate 3 like might be one of the greatest games of all times. Like, it is, well, it's not maybe one of the greatest games. BG3 is one of the greatest games of all times. It might be my favorite game of the last decade. It's not even close. Give me a break. Solasta is made by a much smaller team of people. It is going to have certainly less visual shininess to it. It isn't going to have the same sort of like complex story with all this voice acting and all these things. But is it still pretty good? Oh, heck yes. And arguably, in a lot of people's minds, if you enjoy the combat of Baldur's Gate 3, Solasta is going to be even better that way because it is more true to the 5th edition tabletop experience. Yeah, very, very, very strong in that direction, and certainly looks to be a heck of a lot of fun. It has the advantage of being fairly cheap to buy in the first place, although it does have a few expansions, and some of the races and classes are locked behind those expansions because, again, small team, they were putting this out over time. The good news, though, is their multiplayer model, which, by the way, originally one of the reasons I kind of discounted looking at Solasta way back when, is originally it didn't have multiplayer. That has since been added in. I think it's been in for about a year at this point, and it looks to be in very solid shape at this point, which I'm very excited for. And the hosts DLC is used for all the players. So if you're playing with your friends, only one person needs to pick up the DLC. Whoever's got the most DLC should be the host, and everyone will get to use that one, which is a nice model. I often praise that in the Paradox games, right? For as much as some people dislike the amount of expansions and things like that Paradox put out for their games, they do have this great multiplayer model where, yeah, whatever the host has, everyone gets to use, which is really handy dandy. Before we dive in here, I'll also give a big shout out to, there is an excellent community mod. It's gone through a couple of name changes over the last few months. Currently, it is known as Unfinished Business. It is a mod that adds a tremendous amount of extra content to Solasta. It's made by a group of different people. I guess it's sort of as a collection of different mods that have been put together in one big package. Everything in it is optional, so you can pick and choose what you add, but it'll add in a ton more races, a ton more, it adds in an extra class and a ton more subclasses for all the existing classes. It enables a bunch of rules options, some things that bring closer to tabletop, some things that are just house rules that you might prefer. It also includes multi-classing, which is not a part of vanilla Solasta. I am not playing with Unfinished Business for this because I want to give the baseline experience to it, but if you are loading up Solasta and you feel that there is still some things missing that you would like to see, Unfinished Business. Apparently it is compatible in multiplayer as well. You just have to make sure that everyone is using the same set of options, and there is a way for one person to share their Unfinished Business config file with the other players so that you can easily make sure you're all synced up that way. Anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and click on New Adventure. Now, there are a number of different campaigns available, and one of the other great, and by the way, the campaigns do come with the expansions. That's what some of the expansions are all about. One of the other things, though, you can see down here, user campaign, and also you may have noticed on the main menu, a dungeon maker option over here. You can indeed make your own content and share it on the Steam Workshop, which ensures tons and tons of replayability. I haven't played any of the custom stuff out there, so I don't know what to recommend, but yeah, very exciting. I'm going to start with the base Crown of the Magister campaign, the vanilla edition that comes with the base game, because I haven't played it yet. Difficulty, we've got 5 options ranging from story to cataclysm mode. I'm going to go and keep it just on authentic mode over here, just middle of the road. I'm not going to play on Iron Man. I have done the intros, so I could skip them because they're basically the tutorial, but I have to say, they've really got a lot of charm and personality. So I'm going to leave them on. We're going to play through them, which is going to be great. I'm not going to do character creation here on screen. I've got my characters created already, but I will talk about what they are. First of all, I'm going to say that we're going to start off with, oh, hold on, I want to filter. The game does come with a bunch of pre-generated characters if you want, but I'm just going to go to my personal tab over here, and we're going to bring in Roland Fitzperidew. Roland Fitzperidew is a half-elf paladin. Now, in Solasta, about 1,000 years ago, there were no humans in Solasta. There was a massive elven civilization that existed, and then kind of suddenly in the middle of nowhere, a portal opened up. I think in their capital city, this giant rift opened up, and all these humans and these other creatures started to pour through this portal. So all the humans in Solasta are kind of like refugees, and elves are the most established race over here. I don't know in terms of demographic which species has the most numbers. I mean, historically, humans are pretty good at like multiplying and spreading around. For all I know, there's more humans than anything else now, but I think there's still kind of that vibe. Roland here is a half-elf for a few different reasons. One, in my head, with this kind of scenario, there's probably been just a lot of, cohabitation and probably lots of mingling between the species, so it makes sense that there's going to be a little bit of elf blood going in there. I think we're going to kind of lean thematically with Roland's human side, but he does have half elven blood. Partially it's because the human in the base game of Solasta is the baseline human in 5th edition, which is just +1 to all stats and nothing else exciting on, which is not a very strong racial background to start off with. And the half-elf race is, in 5th edition, like one of the strongest, so I'm doing that a little bit. Again, the unfinished business mod does add in the variant human if you want to have access to that one. That starts at the feet, level 1. All of a sudden, the humans go from being the weakest race to probably the strongest. Apparently, light and vision is a hugely important thing in Solasta as well. So starting with dark vision, which we will as a half-elf, is very potent. Although we do have a few ways of getting dark vision if you do play a race that doesn't start with it. Next up, Roland has met or is going to meet right at the start of this adventure, a pair of siblings. We've got Casimir and Cassandra. What do they call them? Star something. I can't remember what their last name is. Dang, I feel foolish. But a couple of high elves over here who have taken to living in the city that we're going to be playing in, but have run into some tough times. Casimir did have a stint as a royal battle mage for a little while, and he's got some martial training from that, which is going to help us out a lot, including the ability to bear some armor. Meanwhile, Cassandra fell in with the seedier element of town. She is technically by class a ranger, but she has the low life background, which is going to give her proficiency in stealth and sleight of hands, as well as thieves' tools. So she is going to be acting as our opener of doors and disarmings of traps and that sort of vibe. And then finally, I had considered bringing in a Hill Dwarf cleric, which I thought would be a lot of fun, but we're going to bring in instead someone who's introduced herself merely as Quick Save. She's a warlock. She's an high elven warlock. No, she's a tiefling. These are high elves. She is a tiefling warlock and offers no more explanation beyond that at this time. So we're going to go ahead and start game. We'll get a little bit of text, and then we're going to have our party meet in a tavern, because it is the standard way you start a D&D style adventure. Many consumables can be set up in a utility slot, making them available more quickly than the inventory would.
Before the cataclysm, there were no gods on Solasta.
That might be a little loud, I apologize.
No humans either.
Oh, that's right, there were no gods either. It all came with the rift.
The rift opened. Some say it was a magical accident, or the work of an evil god. No one knows for sure. The cataclysm destroyed the old High Elf Empire. Manicalan, they called it, and twisted the land beyond recognition. Now, only the brave and the foolish go there.
I believe it's referred to as the Badlands.
Search of ancient treasures. But something is happening deep in those Badlands. Whatever it is, it can't be good.
It is the year 1024 after Cataclysm. New states have arisen around the Badlands and crave its treasures. A newly discovered road offers a safer route into the ruined heart of the Empire from the Principality of Masgarth, upsetting the balance of power. The Legacy Council is formed to ensure that this knowledge is shared. It issues a call for agents to explore the Badlands in its name. Adventurers flock to Caer Siflin. Siflin? Kiflin? Siflin, I'm going to say. The Principality's capital and home of the Council. For strangers meet in the Gravekeep's Cask, close to the council chambers. And the visuals are not Baldur's Gate 3, although I think they're still pretty adorable.
This beer tastes like donkey piss. Not that I'm complaining.
Is this the place for the Legacy Council job? Hope I'm not too late.
Ran into a bit of trouble on the way here.
Take a load off. There's plenty of donkey piss to go round. If you're here for the council job, get in line. Though if this Lord Karen doesn't show up soon, I may go looking for him.
Another round, barkeeper. 4 of your finest flagons of donkey piss, please.
So is this the job? Getting shit-faced?
We do what we have to. So what's this trouble you were telling us
The
about?
dialogue that people, characters
I
use in here
headed
are
down a
influenced, I
lonely
believe, by
road
their,
when 3
background on their character
shitheads
sheet.
jumped from the bushes, dragged me off, and threw my ass in this broken-down jail. Smelled like some poor bastard had died in there. A strong wind could have took it down.
What I love is the characters explaining their backstory is the format for the tutorial of the game. And we're going to try to go through these tutorials fairly quickly because, I mean, they're only going to be so interesting and so dramatic, and I have played through them before to warm up over here. But yeah, we've got control over quick save over here, which if I look at our character, the reason I called her quick save is one of the patrons available to warlocks here in Solasta is something called the Timekeeper, which was oh so intriguing to me. Where wizards draw their magical power from study and sorcerers from magical bloodlines, warlocks gain power through a pact with powerful patrons. I mean, that we know, that's standard warlock stuff. But then over here we've got time is eternal, just a long flow, and yet it longs for more than this endless flow. It longs to feel the meaning of a single moment. The timekeepers fulfill this longing and can even sometimes manipulate the flow, a boon granted to agents of time. So I thought quick save would be kind of funny because we talk about quick save and quick load a lot of times in our games as like chronomancy. So we're just gonna like lean into that vibe. Oh, also I took the sellsword background here for quick save because it's so potent because it does give you proficiency in medium armor, and that just seemed too good to ignore. So both Casimir and quick save have the sellsword background because yeah, all right, I'm a little cheesy. Deal with it. We've woken up over here. We have to escape. We got our tutorial movement. I'm not going to read those bits out, but yeah, we can WASD to move around, Q and E to rotate. I can also rotate around with the right mouse button, and we can just click to move and explore the prison. We'll mostly work our way out over here. We have a journal, indeed, that we can access, because we've got the little quest log kind of going over here, and then the journal for more details. I mean, I could open that up and take a look. Hop over here, then we'll be told about crawling. There you go, to crawl, because sometimes you have to crawl through some holes, but it happens automatically. So there's a little hole over here. You can mouse over, or you can just click through, and there we go. And we should get a tutorial, there we go, about holding Alt to highlight objects, and indeed, we can highlight this barrel here, loot it, and get ourselves a torch. Loot that, which has been equipped on our character here, and we can move around. So like, as I said, lighting is actually incredibly important in this game. They take the rules very strictly for your ability to see and target enemies based on lighting. Highlighted elements are interactive. Right over there, we've got one. This door is presumably locked or barred, but we can shove that rock out of the way and make our way out of the prison over here. Then we'll be told about jumping. There's a chest over here. So yeah, to jump or climb, simply click on the destination. Depending on the character's strength and proficiency with athletics, you can jump and climb between 2 and 5 cells. You can always jump over 2 cells or drop down 3 cells and climb up 1, or climb up easy to the surface like ladders and rope without any trouble. But anything else, you need to roll. And it lets us know, hey, you can't. You'll always be able to get everywhere plot critical, but you might not be able to get everywhere without the athletics or the strength. Ah! Ooh. Well, we gave it a try. We did trip and embarrass ourselves a little bit over here, but we did make it through. Luckily, with our athletics check, we can go ahead and loot this chest and get a healing potion out of it. Yeah, we can't push this from this side, so I'm gonna have to just go ahead and jump back over here. All right, that one was a lot smoother, which is good. I think I did give her proficiency in athletics. I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, it's from her sellsword background. She's got proficiency in athletics. That's one of the reasons she can go a little bit more. And that's very convenient. Even without a lot of strength, it's nice to have a little bit in there. In general. Tabletop as well. Depends on what kind of table you're playing, you know, what kind of encounters are being run. But athletics can sometimes be incredibly useful. I like the environment that you can interact with. That's very cool. Also, I love the idea that, like, you can make your own dungeons, too. So presumably you can do this sort of thing in your custom stuff as well. So here we're going to deal with these prison guards. That was one of the reasons I guess we couldn't go directly through this door, because there was people on the other side. Now there's simply a greasy paste on the other side. Looting inventory management. Yep, click a chest. Everything you can carry. Yep, weight gauge. Split items, hold control. Sounds great. I'm going to click on that. And then all of a sudden, we are back in our full swag. So it gave us back our regular equipment. And I have to say, like, this warlock armor, wow, it's awesome. Little feathers over here. Don't we look great? Absolutely. Oh, do we keep the component pouch in our quick slot? I was gonna say I can put a potion in the quick slot. We'll have to see how that affects our spell casting. No free hand to perform somatic spell components. Oh, because I've got holding the candle, yeah. I've got the staff in the other hand. And the game is strict about that. Now, if I put the component pouch over here, yeah, same thing. So it's going to be fine, because normally, actually, we don't need to carry the light source. There, if I just do this, put the potion back, now I should be able to cast spells perfectly fine. Yeah. So now we've got a free hand. We don't need a light source because we have a dark vision as a tiefling. I'm not wrong about that, right? Oh.
So you escaped unscathed. Well done, my friend.
Perhaps someone else can tell a story, since it looks like we might be here a while.
Have another ale. It's not like you have anywhere better to be. Well, let me tell you my story then. I too was accosted on the way here, but I faced my foes head on.
So, what are you waiting for? Spit it out, why don't you?
So this is the combat tutorial. There you go. So there's a dashing tutorial over here. But really our objective is just to get rid of the wolves, so I'm just going to go ahead and engage these starting wolves. Anyway.
A modest success.
I think we're actually guaranteed to land our hits over here. Notice I try to move away, our square turns red. That's the indicator that we are being threatened and we draw an attack of opportunity. So I'm just going to end my turn where I am.
Ooh.
We missed. Another wolf joins the party over here. Yep, how to attack. Again, it's like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to start attacking right from the start rather than just run away. And then here I can move over here without drawing any attacks or opportunity. There is a shove available in this game, but it is not a bonus action, unlike Baldur's Gate 3. Baldur's Gate 3, they decided to make shove a bonus action. Here it is a standard action, so I'm doing shove instead of attack. And since I'm going to go anyway, I'm just going to do that. All right, victory. I have combat mode now, so I can just move freely without having to worry about my per round distance. And somewhere right over here, we'll get another little interruption. Like I said, I've done this part before. Now, this is a much more dangerous wolf. This is a grayback wolf, not a starving wolf. And the implication here would be we don't fight it. We can see it's got 50 hit points. But also, in the tutorial here, it is forcing me to use the disengage action. This is how you avoid attacks of opportunity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to disengage, come over here, and shot a rock. Boop! And collapse the bridge. Goodbye. And someone's like, that bridge has been there for 200 years! Like, yeah, but I didn't want to get eaten.
What a bunch of namby-pambies. You're lucky you weren't attacked by Sorax.
I don't remember anyone asking your opinion.
The Badlands are thick with them, shape-shifting bastards.
Go easy on him, he's just a harmless old drunk. Probably saw lizard folk or dragonborn or something.
You think I don't know the difference? All those spines on their backs, those jaws. You've never seen anything like it. Not lizard folk, not troglodyte, not dragonborn, I'm telling you.
No one believes in Sorax anymore. Except the Church of Einar, of course. There's a Sorak under every bed, if you believe them. Easy now. Don't mock people for their faith.
Read them books. Sorax are masters of deception, infiltration. Anyone here could be a Sorak. You'd never know.
Oh, come on.
You'll see.
So, anyway,
Sorax might be legend, but orcs are quite real, and not just in the Badlands. I stumbled across a secret settlement right here in the Principality. That is preposterous. I was dragging my weary ass up the hills west of here, and decided to leave the roads.
Oh my god,
for a shortcut.
he's actually sounding a little bit drunk.
Beautiful day, blue skies, birds are singing. I watched one take wind and fell right into a bloody hole. Damn! That hurt like hell.
Lighting and light sources. Yeah, in Solasta, you will explore deep, dark places without natural light, makes exploration and combat harder, special characters without dark vision. I had wanted to say, so you can see there's a little personality section over here. So depending on what kind of character background you went with, and you can see here, Casimir's also the sellsword, because I want to abuse the fact that we get the medium armor proficiency for free. I think that put in the slang personality is a very powerful source, but then you also get to choose some personality traits as you go. So you get this sort of affinity towards the different personalities, and apparently this does affect their speech and maybe some other parts of the game, which is very nifty. Boop, 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 boo. So we're gonna pop down here, and yeah, this is telling us about lighting things. For example, there are some torch sconces there and there. Now, if I were to equip a candle in my hand, now all of a sudden it becomes clickable, which is nice. Or if I were to remember that I'm in fact a wizard, I have access, for example, to the Sparkle cantrip, which lets me target up to 3 lightable things and set them on fire. Wow, I failed my history check. Excellent.
Charming, that. Just as long as my head doesn't end up on the top.
Wonder what it would have said if I succeeded. I don't know if I did last time. All right, leave the cave, explore further. This way. For healing, for your character can cast healing spells like Cleric. You can press to cast spells. Auto recover lost hit points. You can use a potion. Okay. Oh, right. I did take damage, I guess, from the fall. Ahaha. But if I can avoid using a healing potion, if I can somehow bring that into the main campaign, then I'd prefer to do it that way. Speaking of healing potion, we got that. An extra torch, a couple of arrows, ration pouch.
There must be a mechanism somewhere.
Oh, to open that door.
There they are. Head down, or I'm next on the menu.
Yeah, a trio of orcs would be very difficult for, well, honestly, a level 1 party at this point, let alone a level 1 wizard on their own. Then we learned about Cautious Mode. Cautious Mode makes you slower, but grants 2 benefits. Hidden objects and traps are easier to spot, and you are harder for your enemies to spot. So presumably it affects your perception check as well as your stealth checks. When an enemy starts to notice your presence, a gauge appears over their head, giving you time to react and return to hiding. Remain 3 cells above the enemy in this mode, and you can't be detected. Excellent. I also don't have my torch out, if that matters. So I'm going to go into stealth mode, and yet we've got a winch over here that we can use to open. Oh, I think it's going to open that door there. Oh, there's 4 of them. Yeah, definitely wouldn't want to mess with them. Ladder? Excellent. All right. Pop back out. Sneaky, sneaky. Once I'm back up, I can drop cautious mode so we can move a little faster. I hit the spacebar there. In combat, holding the spacebar accelerates animations, but I guess in real-time mode, it just toggles the pause. Okay, side route. Do a little bit of jumping. And then this way. container. This moss. Oh! I think I can descend here. Yeah, it's a little camp there.
They're camped right by the only exit. Oh, it just keeps getting better. Guess I'm waiting them out. At least these rocks are damned uncomfortable.
We learn about resting here. Yep, take a long rest. Understood. Understood. They wait for the orcs to leave, so we'll just wait here on the other side. Start long rest. Now, normally we do things like consuming our food, preparing our spell slots over here so I can change my memorizations. I'm not going to worry about it. Well, what am I currently got memorized? I have Shield, Magic Missile, Fog Cloud, and Featherfall memorized. That's pretty good. Do I want to have Thunder Wave instead of one of these? Shield and Magic Missile for sure, 100%. Identify as a ritual spell. Oh, so I want to talk about this. Casimir's a wizard, and in Baldur's Gate 3, there's kind of sort of no reason to ever take more than 1 or 2 levels of the wizard because of the way that they've implemented a variety of things. Playing a straight up wizard in Baldur's Gate 3 doesn't really make much sense. You take, your 1 or 2 levels of wizard, and then you pick up a second spell casting class, and you'll just be like, you're still going to be basically a full wizard plus something else, which is great. However, here in Solasta, much like in Tabletop, there are some considerable benefits to being a straight-up wizard, especially with no multi-classing being a thing. Obviously, that's also that. But a few different things. First of all, ritual spells work like they do in Tabletop here. I don't have to prepare Identify, which is a ritual spell, which is what this book does. You can always cast it as long as it's in your spell book, which is the case here. So that is one of the reasons that the Solasta wizards are quite a bit more powerful, because we have access to this ritual casting in a really good way. But there's a few other things, but the basic thing is we also can't do the cheaty gain access to every single wizard spell forever like you can in BG3. Anyway, so if you were annoyed by the fact that just being a straight up wizard in BG3 was a little bit suboptimal, or maybe you didn't know, maybe I've just ruined it for you. Oh no! But anyway, in Solasta it's a very strong pick. I kind of want Thunderwave, but I'm not sure which one of these two to drop. I'll probably drop Fog Cloud and pick up Thunderwave. There we go. I like that. All right, we've changed our spells. Oh, you can't change your memorization at will in Solasta, just like in Tabletop D&D. You just do it rest as opposed to literally whenever you want, which is the way you can do it in BG3. Which honestly, I'm not opposed to games, making things a little easier and keep the flow better, but I also like when things take it a little bit more seriously. Okay, so where's the exit? Oh, there's the exit.
I would have slaughtered every one of those green-skinned monsters. Orcs have a very distinctive...
Roland has a violent personality.
We should build a council for all this wasted time.
We've all told a tale of our travels here. All but one of us.
Yes, but I have good reason for that. It's none of your bloody business.
We can't take up arms together if we don't trust each other.
Fine. You want to know the truth? I stopped on the way here to visit an old friend of mine and discovered he was up to his eyeballs in debt with a loan shark.
Sounds like an idiot.
Indeed. He put up a family heirloom as collateral and wanted me to reacquire it. Because you see, I can be quite stealthy when necessary.
I'm very curious how it picks each character for which tutorial. Because indeed, Cassandra here is the stealthiest person of our group. But is it just because she was in the 3rd character slot and that's who they happen to give it to, or what? I'm very curious, because it seemed to work out in my test game as well. My rogue got this particular thing. I just remembered I was going to bring down maybe the... let's bring down the volume in general a little bit more. I want the voices to be audible, but it seemed to be peaking out the sound meter a bit, so let's head on over here. So, stealth tutorial. Use cautious mode to move stealthily. Enemies can hear you if you cross if they cross your noise circle, and they will spot you as soon as you leave cautious mode. Your noise circle depends on your armor type and your stealth skill. Also, it's a good idea to avoid moving into an enemy's field of view while carrying a light source. Remain in cautious mode for the whole duration of this mission. You must make a stealth check if you attempt an object interaction while within hearing range of an enemy, such as opening a door, a chest, or even pickpocketing, and you will remain undetected only to succeed. Cautious mode also allows you to find and follow tracks. Oh, there's some tracks over there indeed. So there's a circle around there. I guess, is that to indicate that there might be some noise from interacting with this? I've got your camera controls. That's fine. May have popped it up there because we have to round a corner.
Oh, Liam, always thoughtful.
These tools. Because of the corner, it's like, how do I see around the corner? And like reminding you about the camera things. That's a pretty good idea. Oh, we got a guard up top. Give it a little bit of distance. He's quite high up. We might be okay. Ooh, no, see, we're getting a little spotting meter. Nope, move back. Move back further. Classic Quill. Can't do stealth missions. I wonder if he's going to patrol. Or maybe if I got closer, is there any chance that... Oh, you know what I'm realizing? I'm wearing Snail Mail. Let's go do a little outfit swap over here. Snail Mail is giving disadvantage to stealth checks. Okay. Oh yeah, and look at this. It indeed doesn't have the line of sight right now, which is great. So I probably could have hugged the wall the entire time, but the meter also was filling up much more slowly. Okay, that's really good. Yeah, as a ranger, of course, I have light and medium armor proficiency, but if we're going to do stealth things, we may want to stay in light armor. Or some of the medium armors don't give you disadvantage. But the fact is, I don't know how much I care about Cassandra's stealth part. I gave her the low life mostly so we'd have someone with proficiency with these tools, which she does have. Oh, nice check. And you can still pick locks without the proficiency, but this way I get to add my proficiency score to the attempt, which should help a lot. So keep sneaking around behind them. As a reminder, I am notoriously terrible at stealth parts in games, but we're making it work so far, which is good. We got some fleurs to loot. Let's go and do that. Angry Violet. So, most likely used for crafting. There's a big crafting system in this game. I'm going to assume we want to go up here. And by that, I mean I have a memory of having done this before. Again, I've done the tutorial, and I did a little bit of walking around in town, and I like sort of started the first mission, but that is it. Basically doing this blind. So, tutorial, disarm traps. To disarm a trap, you must first detect it. If you try to open or lockpick a chest with a trap that you haven't detected, you'll only find out about the trap when you trigger it. Try to disarm the trap, move over it, left click. Gotta make a dexterity check. Thieves' tools will help if you're proficient with them. Some traps can only be disarmed by triggering them. If you fail to disarm a trap, you may trigger it or lock it or simply need to try again. Go ahead, attempt to disarm this trap. And I get the sense that in the tutorial mode here... Oh, I rolled a 1! I was gonna say, I think you always succeed. Apparently you don't always succeed. So yeah, I went ahead and just triggered it. Wow. Because yeah, I couldn't click on it again to give it another try here. Ah! Or maybe that was intentional from the tutorial, but I feel like when I did this before, I did successfully disarm all the traps. So I'm not sure. Trap chest here. Good, disarmed. Liam's heirloom, that's what we're here for. Also 15 pieces, not too bad. Chest here, but it looks like it's just for show. All right, time to leave. Get the heck out of Dodge. Except there's some drama going on outside.
There you are, you filthy crook!
You? What? You're drunk. Get out of here before I kill you.
Think you scare me? Not anymore.
A grave mistake.
Liam, what are you doing here? I told you I'd take care of it.
Sometimes in the course of your adventure, some non-player characters may become critical. This means if you let them die, the game is over. If you attack an enemy while undetected, you gain the advantage surprise. It means you have advantage to your roll to hit, and your opponent cannot react before the next turn. If you are a rogue, your attack will be a sneak attack, dealing additional damage. I am not a rogue. I will appreciate getting advantage. Combat is starting. I have one initiative roll. I'm going to make sure to... Because I might be able to, like, get in there, but I'd probably have to make a bunch of successful stealth checks to be able to reach here and engage a sneak attack. We're just going to go ahead and do some sniping. We can totally do that. Yeah, and we do get a note there. We are stealthy, so we're going to get advantage to the roll. I don't know if we're going to be able to one-shot you. 11 hit points is a fair amount. Ah! Or maybe we will.
Are you four here to see Lord Karen?
At this point, I think we've drunk so much beer, I'm not sure we remember. We're not here to get drunk.
Well, we're not here to drink ourselves to death.
Well, thank you for making that clear. Well, if you're here for Lord Karen of the Legacy Council, that would be me.
Oh yeah, we should get paid for waiting.
Fine. I'd like to present you with a bill for the time we just spent cooling our heels.
Feel free. The Council's bursary enjoys a good laugh.
We kind of need a little bit more info about the job, my lord.
Well, I suppose it's better if you know what you're doing. What do you want to know?
Are you an employer?
Are we going to work for you?
Not exactly, no. I'll be your contact with the Legacy Council, which you will serve as deputies. That's why we need to go there and get you sworn in.
I like how the dialogue options aren't like your main character asking, choosing from a list. Instead, it's various members of your party, especially depending maybe on their personality, have different inputs they'd like to throw in. I mean, maybe sometimes these options might be fixed, sometimes it may be based on something else. But yeah, tell me about the Legacy Council.
We hear this is a mission for the council, but what is it exactly?
He's
Dear
a lot more formal in
Mareike,
speech.
you don't know? I'll try to make it simple, but politics. The council includes representatives of the most powerful and influential organizations in the Eastern Kingdoms. It was created to lead a joint effort to explore the Badlands.
You know what? We know enough.
I think we know enough now. Thank you. We should go, don't you think?
Very well. Come, gather your things. You're late for your swearing in.
Ooh, I like swearing.
Hurry up and wait. The story of my life.
I mean, again, it's not BG3 dialogue, but I think they've got a lot of personality. I like them. I mean, they're not even story NPCs. They're custom creation. But I think the game's doing a good job of giving them some personality. So, we are now unleashed on the world in our party mode over here. We can move as a group. We can just select one person and move them around separately, which presumably is how it would work in multiplayer, right? From what I understand, you can assign, let's say we're playing with just 2 players, and you could each control 2 people or something like that. You can arrange it in different ways. With the Unfinished Business mod, you can have a party size, I think, up to 6 as well, if you do want to play with more people. So that is also an option. You can also play with fewer people, if that's what you want to do. We are going to go and put a cut in here, folks. Next episode, we are going to properly start the adventure. We're going to talk to the Legacy Council, find out what our mission is, and we are going to be leaving town and going into the Badlands. We're going to be traveling overland, we're going to be experiencing what camping is like, and we're going to explore, our first mysterious area that may or may not be full of bad guys. Spoiler alert, it's full of bad guys. Before I forget, though, I'm going to make sure to throw the armor back on Cassandra here, because I am going to want her in that armor most of the time. I gotta say, that looks pretty good. This armor's really good. This one here, we're going to have to find something better looking for Roland, I think. That's a decent robe for Casimir, but we're going to want to put him in some medium armor if we can. And actually, same thing with Quick Save over here, which is darn shame because this looks great. The thing is, I don't know if we're going to be able to afford a couple of suits of medium armor for these two, so they may be starting the adventure in just their cloth. We'll see how it goes. But that will have to wait until next time. Thank you very much for watching. I'm planning on doing a few recordings for this today, kind of as many as I can cram in one day. And, if people are liking it, then we're going to keep going with it. And we'll see how it goes. I personally am looking forward to playing through this game myself regardless of whether we record or not. So it's just going to come down to, are people into this, or are people just going to look at it and be like, well, it's not Baldur's Gate 3. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.